My goodness! Incredible! This is
The Grove Podcast.
Hot off the pitch.
Hello, my name is Tabs and welcome to the Grove Podcast, Hot off the pitch, live stream and post-match instant reaction podcast. So we've just beaten Everton, and I say just in the literal sense, as in it was like a few minutes ago, and just because it was only 1-0 a few minutes ago. So happy 6th anniversary to Arteta. And what a way to celebrate. 3 points, and I think that's it. So I think that's all let's talk about, really. So let's say goodbye, and then we'll catch everyone later. No, anyway, I'm sure there is stuff to talk about, and we'll try and get our views on the game. And also, if you're watching, then please feel free to send us your views in the chat. I've already put a shout out for the 3-word reviews, and I'll be doing those. So and apologies if it's a little bit clunky. We just get used to this, but as I try and juggle the tech and try and provide some sort of semi-coherent opinion on the game. So please bear with us. However, I'm very fortunate to be joined by Ian, aka Ask Cannon Picks, who hopefully will do most of the talking while I try and figure out all my multiple screens and my notes and all that jazz. So Ian, how you doing on this fine Saturday evening?
I'm good, Tab. You remind me of my mum trying to get the Atari to work on my old television, the old tube TV back in the early 1990s. I'm good. I'm so relieved that ended up with 3 points. But yeah, I'm good.
Okay, now bear with me. This is live. This is live. I've left my tea outside, so I'm just going to go get my tea.
Oh Lord, beauty of live streaming.
It was also on the banister, so yeah, it wasn't in the most safest of places. And look, it's Christmas. I decided to wear the Christmas hat today, not the jumper. But yeah,
too warm last time.
Yeah, exactly. So right, let me just see what I'm doing. Right. Okay. So look, let's kick off. So we beat Everton 1-0, penalty from Bukayo Saka. So give us your. No, I'm talking about Saka. Sorry, Gyökeres. There you go. So even
take a breath.
Right. Tell me what you thought of the game. Go on.
I thought it was a bit shit. No, I think that's a classic game where when we look back, like we were all very nervous, I'm sure, watching it because it was only 1-0, but it was one of those that, like Everton, like it looked like if we'd have played for another 90 minutes, they were never going to even have a shot, never mind score a goal. So I think it was a lot more comfortable than it was. But at the same time, parts of it wasn't pretty. I can't see that, can't read that.
Breathe. It's just a reminder for myself.
A reminder. It just wasn't pretty in parts, and like against stronger teams and bigger teams and better teams, if we play like that, I'd be worried. Same as the Wolves game. But I thought Everton were really poor, I have to say. I thought the crowd was really poor. If you contrast that with the atmosphere at the Stadium of Light and at Villa Park, like you could barely hear the Everton crowd. I thought it was going to be very boisterous, but it wasn't, and that fed onto the pitch for Everton. And I think, luckily enough, they were really off it. Not that we were terrible or anything like that, but we were very, very pedestrian. And I'm just so happy that we got out of there with the 3 points.
Yeah, I think it's one of those games. I think if you look back, you think they created absolutely nothing. No real threat. I mean, I'm going to look at. I was sort of looking at the statistics now. Like, I mean, overall, they had one shot on target. I think they had 5 shots in the first half. They didn't even have a single shot. So everything came in the second half where they tried. So their XG was 0.2 to stuff like that. So you're right. They absolutely created nothing. I think the threat and the nervousness was there because we were not playing at our best. We were not, on top form. We know how stupid football can be, and there's that free kick in the last minute, 95th minute. Pickford comes up, launches into the box, anything can happen, he can bounce around. So again, I think everyone was all nervous, one, because of the quality of the game, and two, just because stuff happens and so on. So it was I think overall, I think we just about deserved to win it. I think we were the ones creating the chances. We had the best chances. We hit the post, I think, 2 or 3 times. We had the better XG. They had very nominal threats. It's just, we just weren't able to sort of put it away. One of those goes in and it's game over from like the 60th minute. So no dramas there. But we'll get into that in a bit later. So, I mean, to start off with, the lineup, I think it was pretty much as everyone expected. No great surprises. I think we needed to keep Gyökeres up front because Jesus is still just back from injury, and we've seen what happens when we're playing players just coming back from injury. And I think everyone is as expected. Any issues with the lineup when you first saw it?
No, I was very, very happy with it. I posted on the socials that this is pretty much, apart from Kai and Big Gabby, this is our probably best lineup at the moment. So I was very happy. I was delighted to see Trossard back in, and delighted to see kind of a much more normal back four, which I think huge bonus for us. So no problems with the starting lineup at all.
No, and were you happy to give Gyökeres? I said give Gyökeres another chance. It's again to see him starting over Jesus, or did you have any issues with that? I mean, he's been the talk of the town. He seems to be that lightning rod.
He has, and look, I get it, I do get it, but like, there's no way we're going to be starting Gabriel Jesus after him being out for nearly a full year. And he's only got a few minutes under his belt recently. Like, so there's no way. You could argue that maybe Marino starts, but between Jesus and Gyökeres, no, I think it was right to start. I think it was right to choose him.
Okay, well, we'll get onto his performance in a minute. So as we normally do, what was your highlight and low light from the game?
My highlight was the final whistle. To be honest, it was just, we're in like points collection mode, I think, and it was just get the 3 points. That was the highlight. My low light was, a couple. Like, one was having to watch Tarkowski. I said recently about Reece James having the same heat map as the referee in our game, and Tarkowski in the first half, holy shit, I thought he was married to the referee at one point. He was just following him around the pitch. I was like, will you leave the man alone? So that really annoyed me, and it was a low light having to watch that. But also the Trossard miss, that was a big low light for me. He missed a very similar chance at St. James's Park, where he was clean through on goal basically and walloped it off the post. Now, don't get me wrong, Trossard has been incredible for us this season, but in those instances where you desperately need a second goal, and he like, that'd be bread and butter to him. He should have put that away, and we're not sweating for the last 20 minutes, or 50.
No, I agree. I mean, actually, and we haven't conversed on this, I had here literally my low light, Tarkowski, always in ref's ear. And then I've just got, he's just a big lump. Limited footballer. He makes the most of what he's off the pitch. Actually, he's a really funny and nice guy apparently, but on the pitch, he's just, there's no redeeming features about him. So I had to add him as my low light. I think other low lights was, I think, our finishing. I think you're right, Trossard. Should have scored. I felt like he should have scored. He should have scored that one. A bit more bend on it. I think he should have got that. Even there was a chance then also for Saka that he sort of just tamely hit rather than having. He was like in the middle of the penalty area or to the right of the penalty spot, and he just hit first time. So I think he had time to take it. I just think, and I think even in the first half there was one chance. I just think our finishing overall was a bit off, and I just also felt a bit of low light. We just kept on giving the ball away in the attacking third. We were sort of promising positions, and it would break down. Sloppy pass here, sloppy pass there, not taking care of things, and I just felt. I mean, it was an improved performance from Wolves, but that was a very low bar. But you could still feel there was elements confidence, elements of the game stable 1-0. We're not playing with that freedom and playing with that flow and rhythm. And look, Everton are part of that. Everton can make that hard, and they did make it hard for us in terms of doing that. But there were times when we weren't under pressure, we would just play sloppy pass or just lose concentration. Odegaard did that a couple of times. Calafiori do it, Trossard, even Saka, Rice. Everyone was culpable, even at the back. So those were sort of my lowlights. And my highlight was the Gyökeres penalty, but the particular aspect of it is the fact that he hit it so hard. I'm sure the net, thank God the net was there. Otherwise, some Everton fans had their head knocked off. But the way the metal bar that keeps the net down, it lifted so high off the ground, and I love the aesthetics of football, and that was brilliant to see that fly up like that. So that was my particular.
And Alan Smith in commentary, I don't know if you heard him, but he said that it's lucky Pickford didn't get anything to it, because he would have ended up in the net with Bob.
Yeah, no, you're right, and I love that sort of penalty. Just twat it. You're not saving that. Okay, it takes a lot of skill to hit it into the corner, and they're unsavable and stuff like that. Like the likes of Odegaard, the likes of Saka do. But I don't know, just something about like a Robin van Persie-esque type penalty when you just. Or going back a few years, Julian Dix, just he's like taking a fast bowler's run up and just.
Kids, Julian Dix was a real footballer. He wasn't a porn star.
No, that's for the Red and Raw podcast. That's for Moz's Red and Raw podcast.
Were you surprised that they gave it to Gyökeres?
Actually, yes. So he's on that. Yeah, I was, because it wasn't a pity penalty. It's 0-0, big game. It's not like, I think when we gave it to Havertz, we were 2-0 up and it's Bournemouth away and stuff like that. And when we've sort of, maybe I think there was a time we gave Odegaard a penalty when he needed a bit of a lift and stuff. It wasn't a pity penalty. We needed to score that, but scoring the first goal in an away game like that, as it proved, is so important. So I was surprised. How confident were you in him? How confident were you in him?
Well, it's funny. It's funny how our minds work as football fans, because if you watch any Viktor Gyokeres penalty, real highlight reel, like he scores all his penalties, like he just does what he did today. But at the same time, the narrative was there, and I think there was kind of 15% of me that was kind of saying, "Oh my God, like please don't miss this," because can you imagine the way the narrative would go then? So it was only for that reason, because his technique and his record for penalties is A1. So I shouldn't have had any apprehension. But yeah, I was glad he took it. I really was. And like they were kind of saying in commentary, maybe Saka didn't take it because Pickford knows him so well from the England camp. So maybe that had nothing to do with it, but it might explain it, because I think when it came to penalties, or it comes to penalties this season, I know they gave it to Gyökeres early on to get him off the mark, but Saka took the last one. He was very kind of bullish about taking the last one, so I thought Saka was definitely going to take this one. So, but fair play. Look, he buried it, and that's all that matters. Yeah, no,
indeed. I think I like that point about Pickford maybe knowing Saka. They faced each other. I think that makes a lot of sense. So I love that. If that is a real thing, then I think big kudos to them, because it shows a level of in-game intelligence and so on like that, and like it. But yeah, I think I was just nervous, like any penalty. If we were to see him hit a few more penalties, then I think we'd lose that nervousness. I'm just nervousness. It's 0-0. It's not been great so far. It's for Gyökeres, and it's more. It's the double. When with these sort of penalties, it's a double. It's a double whammy, because not only is it impacting the result of the game, it's like if he misses that, then like, oh my, if you think that the lightning rod was there before, then it's like, and he's going to get stick before. Now it's just going to be heaping him tons more after missing a penalty. So I think there was a lot of pressure on that, and it showed guts, and it showed willing, and I think that's his character to do that. I think Arteta's expressed that in an interview this week. So I think well done. So well done to him for taking it. And that was like a really bizarre. I think up until then, in terms of the game, up until then, it was fairly rubbish. Well, I mean, I think the whole 90 minutes was potentially fairly rubbish. But Everton seemed to have sort of better of it, or it was just a bit nothing, bit meh, and then suddenly we got back into it. It was a bizarre few minutes. So before it, there was a cross that went into the box, and Gyökeres was involved. And from one angle, it looked like it was a clear shove, and he was going to get to it. And from another angle, it looked like he was falling over. I know. What did you think? Do you think we should have got a penalty in the first place before we got the penalty afterwards?
Be honest, I did, and just to prove that I'm not just Arsenal bias, I thought Tottenham deserved a penalty. What happened in the game earlier? Oh, the push in the back for the goal. I thought the Ekitike goal should have been a free kick, and the push in the back that he did on whoever.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So it was kind of a similar incident, but in an attacking sense this time. I did. I thought it was a penalty. I think basically, if the defender doesn't do that, Gyökeres scores. It's as simple as that. And pushing the back is a foul. That's it. Simple as that.
Yeah. No, I mean, there was on the Grove WhatsApp group, they were saying, "Oh, you should have been stronger. You know, you shouldn't be falling over there." I think it was a balance thing. So, I think he was maybe on his way down, and then a little touch helped him go down further. There was one view from the front which just made it look like he was sort of already sort of stumbling, and then the push helped and finished it. But then there's the original view which makes it look, oh, it's a clear shove. So then great, okay, we have that corner, and then no idea what O'Brien's doing there. Did he suddenly think he was a goalkeeper? What's he doing there? And it's like, I mean, it's incredible that the ref doesn't give that straight away. If you're not seeing a player put their hands up, to stop
that.
Yeah, like that. And Calafiori was there behind to was it behind or in front? I can't remember. Anyway, Calafiori was there, but it just seemed daft. Then after VAR, we get the penalty. But yeah.
But that said, now I suppose it's different for us watching on TV. I had no idea that it had happened. I thought when Calafiori started kind of appealing, I thought he was just looking for a corner. I thought that's all.
Okay.
And I didn't see the handball at all. But you're right, when the referee's standing a few feet away from it and it's as blatant as that. And also, why did he have to look at it like 10 times when one look would have done it? But yeah, an absolute gift. And yeah, we'll take that every game. Happy days.
Yeah, and as I said, I think we were getting into the game at that point. I think we were starting to create a few chances, like, get into it. I think Everton, they came out of the blocks. They had a very clear 2 or 3 tactics. Like, they were pressing us high. They were, leaving, going in hard on the tackles and sort of leaving a bit extra on us. Very Tarkowski-esque. But also they were definitely going long. They were trying to turn us, win the duels, win the second balls, and I think it just took a while for us to sort of to get used to that. And I just think, I know we've had the week off, and we're into training, and we should be working on things and picking up, fixing some of the bad habits that Arteta said was coming back into the game. But I still think, and is what we talked about in the last pod about, and one of the worries is how we're going to deal with this mentally. So when things aren't going well physically, so like we're sort of playing a bit meh, we're missing a few chances, how do we deal with it mentally? And I think this really became a real mental battle to just sort of like, let's get through the moments, let's do that. And I think we did. And then after, I think there was a statistic once after the penalty afterwards, I think it was like 70-30 possession. We had 70% of possession for the rest of for the next 10-20 minutes, and even like for the rest of the half. I said, like you said, they offered very little. And I was just sort of trying to look also if there was any particular, other than the penalty, any other moments that we should have done, better with, like, so
I just felt it is, especially in that first half and for parts of the second half, we were so happy to be so slow in the build up. We were happy to just pass the ball around the defense, and we weren't. Now Everton played their part in that because they made it easy for us to do that. Their press was non-existent, so we just knocked the ball around. But I just think when a team is that kind of I don't know, like in Everton's terms, I mean, when a team is that dull and that kind of non-invasive, like you should take advantage of that. And but we didn't. We were just happy to like lower the bar with them, if that makes sense. And
you play to the level of your position.
Yeah, and like that was a bit of a disappointment. Now maybe look, if the game is different, or the opposition are different, we level up as well. It's weird. It was only 2 weeks ago, 2.5 weeks ago, we were playing Spurs and Bayern Munich and absolutely hammering them and being attacking and adventurous and swashbuckling in a way, and people are talking about us being the best team in the world. And but since then, the last few games, it's like, not that it's the opposite, but it's just, I don't know.
And I think this is where the mental side of things go. And as Wenger used to famously say, you sort of your confidence, so as it goes up the stairs but down the elevator, sort of thing. So, and I think there's a level of that. Also the injury, as we talked many times, I'm not going to get into it, but in terms of the injuries having a knock-on effect and the impact on that, and again, you're playing with mixed teams, mixed formations, mixed players and stuff like that. So there's loads of reasons, but so the rest of the second half, I think, again, we had some good moments, but there was like that one counter where like the Odegaard pass went wide and then it left Gyökeres a bit wide, and Saka went for the header instead of leaving it to Trossard. But I guess I think the one good thing was that we did in the game, and I think maybe we're slow because we're trying to kill the game, we're trying to kill the atmosphere, we're trying to just get control. I think it's all about getting that control, and when we go a bit helter-skelter, a bit basketball-y, fine, let's break at pace, but not everything we have to do at pace. And I think we just want to try and reset ourselves and try and get that control, try and do that probing. And so I think that's why maybe we do go a bit slower. And I agree, it did feel slow, but I think we're just trying to, let's just breathe a little, let's get some control.
Yeah, and there may even be some, in-game management, looking at the festive fixtures, all the games coming up, of not, because you can't go helter-skelter for every game during a period like this. So I'm not disappointed. I'm so happy with the 3 points. I'm just worried that if we play like this against much bigger teams, we won't get away with it. Tonight.
No, I agree. And then, well, did we get away with it? Because in the 57th minute, there was that Saliba kicking. I think it was Barry. It was one of those moments that the opposition player, I think actually even before that, there was the Zubamendi one, I think, was there as well. But anyway, that was outside the box, and so it didn't really impact. But yeah, 57 minutes was all like, Barry gets to it first, then Saliba sort of, in attempting to kick the ball, kicks through Barry. I think Barry makes a meal of it. But do you feel like we got away with one there? I think it may be, if the ref gives it, they don't overturn it. It's like referee's call, umpire's call sort of thing.
Yeah. Be honest with you, I thought it was a penalty. We got given a penalty for that exact same thing a couple of seasons ago. Was it against? I can't remember. Somebody kicked underneath. I think Kai Havertz's for the exact same. And we were given a penalty for it, and I have to be honest and say I thought when they start showing the replays, I thought they're going to send them to the sideline for a review, and I thought it would be given. I've no idea why they weren't. I'm very happy that it wasn't, but I thought it was. I really did. Maybe the only saving grace was that the guy had kicked the ball. He'd already played his pass, if you like.
Yeah.
So after the fact, where
it didn't impact it. Yeah, it didn't impact. Yeah, it didn't impact what he did, sort of thing. So
yeah. Had they been both going for the ball at the same time and the ball was coming down to them and he kicked them, I think that it's a stone wall. But maybe that's what VAR looked at and the ball was played. So yeah.
I think they said on TV, like, high bar, the referee had said it wasn't a foul. So I think it was just falling in our favour, just because it said, had he given it, I don't think they were overturning it. So maybe there's that bit of luck. But this was going to be another one of my lowlights, but what it did make happen, and this is what we seem to allow to happen in these sort of games where we're sort of in control. We let the team get back into it, and you could hear the crowd suddenly are up for it. There was a period there where Everton, again, didn't do anything at all, but it just felt like they were a threat. It felt like the crowd were getting into, they're winning the duels again. They're doing all those basic things that gets the crowd going, and we sort of let them back into it. But luckily, it was only for a short period. But we sort of do tend to allow teams to do that, and then soon afterwards, we have the Trossard should have scored, and that would have been game over. And we were sort of making a few substitutions. Like Jesus, it was good to see Jesus come on. I think he he was actually really good. He was one of the things that they were saying on the game and maybe on the commentary is about Gyökeres' ability to hold up the ball. There was a few times he was, even with the Ukrainian fullback, I've forgotten his Mikalenko. He even got like, you know, bodied off the ball at one time with him. Look, you can imagine with Tarkowski, then, like, you know, not many people are going to go up to that. But I don't know. Yeah, but and then Jesus came on, and I think he did really well with this hold up play and just sort of some smart play, which I think what we needed. Again, kill the atmosphere. But
yeah,
just back to Gyökeres. Yes, he got the penalty. Still a bit meh.
Yeah, like he hasn't done anything other than the penalty. He had one or two moments where he kind of held the ball up a little bit, but there were other moments where he couldn't hold the ball up where he really should have. Yeah, he did his shall we say, he did his haters, like he didn't do anything to dissuade them, I think.
Yeah.
And yeah, look, it's a worry. It really is. It's a worry for I know a lot of other strikers were bought for more money this summer and haven't been doing it. But look, they're not our concern. Gyökeres was bought for still a princely sum, and we should be expecting more from him.
I saw, you know, I was sort of just trying to garner some opinions, and again, maybe the fact that we were slowing things down, and this is such a sort of contrast. So he was, again, you know, I'd have to go back and look at it, but again, he was like, you know, was making runs, and again, we're leaving it too late to find him. And then, like, if you don't go for it when he goes, then it's too late. And so maybe us trying to slow down the game and control the game again doesn't lend itself to finding him with quick runs. So is he a bit of a square peg in a round hole? We're still trying to find what's he for now. You know, but we've been there before with Marino and with Havertz. So maybe we figure it out in a way, and it's hard to figure it out when you haven't got your optimal team out there all the time. So yeah, I wasn't that impressed today.
No,
you're right. It's worrying. Go on.
And it might be even affecting how the team are making decisions in certain moments. For example, there were a couple of situations in the first half where we were breaking, like it might have been 3-on-3 or 4-on-3, and like like there was an easier pass inside to I think Saka had the ball, and there was or maybe Odegaard, and either Saka or Odegaard were just to the left of them, and it was an easy little ball to play in, and he would have been nearly clean on goal, or he had another ball to play out to the left. But they played the harder ball to Gyökeres, almost like they were just trying to get him, you know, involved and play to him, rather than what was the correct decision to make in those moments. So is his style of play, which when it works is incredible, as we saw, albeit in the Portuguese league, but is it impacting our players and our style of play as well?
Yeah, no, indeed. So I mean, that's sort of looking at it from a negative point of view. Was there anyone that you felt stood out that, you know, as I think the game for us today, there were times when we had some, so the Trossard chance, if you look where that started, we did actually play some really nice football at times, but it was pockets of it, and we still showed a vulnerability. I say vulnerability. I'm trying to sort of marry up the emotion of it versus the actual side of things. So it felt like vulnerability, but then again, cold light of day, not a lot, but it just felt we were almost letting them in, or we were almost potentially there, but yeah, but we did play well in parts. There were some nice moves and some that led to chances and shots. But so with that, in terms of how we played, anyone that stood out for you in terms of like man of the match performances?
Like the way I describe it was, like, I think everybody was kind of 6 out of 10. But you could argue maybe Gyökeres wasn't, so you probably give him a 6 out of 10 because he scored.
Yeah.
I thought Declan Rice and Bukayo Saka were 7s, 6.5, 7s. But like nobody went supernova or anything like that.
No.
Declan Rice again was like the lawnmower. He was all over the place. Saka was providing a lot of threat. Like even the likes of Subamendi had some dodgy moments. I'm a huge fan and a couple of moments.
Yeah, I noticed that as well. I thought Zubi was a bit off today. Yeah, again, stray passes. Yeah. I thought that stood out. Again, not bad, but yeah, just
Yeah. Like not, I just that's the whole thing. Like I don't want anybody listening not to get. I don't want them to get the wrong idea. Like it was a great away win. It was a really solid win.
Yeah,
and nobody was poor, but it was like we just played within ourselves. Played the game that was in front of us, or the team that was in front of us. Where I just thought, I just know. No, I don't think I know that we're capable of much more. But again, at the end of the day, it's back-to-back wins with two below average performances, and 6 points is huge this time of year.
Yeah,
I would take another two performances like that against Brighton and Villa.
Yeah, absolutely. In terms of sort of some positive moments, yeah, I said Gyökeres gets the penalty, and that's positive. I think the way Timber and Saka and we were sort of right hand side was working quite well with Timber and Saka and Odegaard without it being completely dominant, as in like, everything just went through them, because I think we did play a lot down the left as well. So I thought their combinations worked well. There was again Timber setting up Saka for that nice chance. I thought Saka was lively. He was like our most dangerous player, but even then he had a few off moments, but I felt he played well. I think Timber played well. I think Saliba looked good. They said like, Beto was getting the better of him. I think Saliba was fine with him. He was just trying to sort of weigh up what to do when Beto was giving him grief, but I don't think he caused him too much trouble. You're right, Rice, particularly in the first half, again everywhere, just everywhere. But again, he was also susceptible to a few dodgy passes here and there. So I think there were, you're right, there was a few. And I think even Raya at the back, I think Raya, even though he had nothing to do from a goal defensive perspective, I think he was very good in terms of helping us play out with our distribution, even come to collect the ball. I think he did really well. So again, you're right. Mostly sixes and sixes, with a few 7.5s in there. So I think, you're right. Go there. We never, I think there's some sort of stat, no one's won that game by more than one goal for the last 6-7 times. So, we go there. Okay, granted, Everton were missing a lot of their attacking threat. We should have made it easier. We didn't. We made it hard for ourselves, but we get the win. We're now back to top of the league. Okay, our goal difference is sort of a bit less than City, but we were under pressure to say, okay, we want to get back top of the league. So we're back to being top of the league at Christmas, which is nice. The Christmas number one, as they say in the footballing world. So
number one.
No, as exactly. So look, we take it. We can improve, and we move on. And so before we move on to next, we will do a bit of a preview of the Palace quarterfinal, because we're not going to be doing a main pod tomorrow. But before we do that, I would like to sort of have a look at. So I did put the call out for the 3-word reviews. So if you give me a few seconds to bring those up, then I'll be able to see what we've got on the various socials. So so on Blue Sky, Mr. C the Gooner, another uninspiring win. Yep, correct. But Sid Silk comes back with 3 important points, and you're correct, Sid. They were indeed. And then let's have a look at threads we have got here. If it decides, okay, there we go. So we got Paul C. Gil-Tulsa. Much improved top. Okay, I guess it was. I guess we're not winning by own goals. We moved on to penalties, and next week we might score an open play goal. Deschamps Gil, just 3 points. Yeah, but they all count. Vanity 258, my fucking heart. But tranquilo, it's fine. There was no danger there. Paul Latham, Dignity 18, Gunners Bit Toffees. Very good playing words there. Flood Colm, easy enough win. I think on reflection it was. Nicky Guna 08, top for Christmas. We just said that. The Christmas number one. Robert Robinson Crusoe. What a great name. Compact, composed, professional. Yeah, okay, maybe. I'm not. I think we were compact and we were professional, composed. Yeah, maybe. I guess if you look at it back, it would be handball penalty goal. Yes, it was, and that was from Anthony Synth Funk. Stig of the Six, another draw, 1. Yeah, I think that's making a reflection on last year. We would have drawn that, or it was last year. It was a game we drew, and now we won. So if you look at the points compared to last season, yeah, we're winning these games. Oz Nooney, boring Arsenal. He said he follows that with I'm a gooner, frustrated. It's 3 points. It's a win. We'll move on. Comedy Mike, penalty, nothing else. Yeah, pretty much. And N Nefella, stop passing backwards. Yeah, we will. Well, let's go and have a word with Arteta about that. What have we got? And then I'm just going to go onto the Grove group chat, see what we've got from there. Usually they're fairly eloquent. Normie, football is stupid. Thanks, Normie. I think we were fine today. I don't think this was a stupid moment, but thank you for that. Moz, top of the tree, and he's put the tree in two as one word. Oh, God. Well, these Scotsmen with their English as a second language, I guess. Daljit, back on top. We are. Manny, clunky Arsenal win. Matt Stacey, bag of shit. So, and then more people who don't know what 3 words are. 1-0 to the Arsenal. I don't even know how many words that is, but there we go. Thanks, CERN, for that one. So there we go. Thank you for those.
Don't forget about Sasha on the stream here.
Oh yeah. Honestly, Sasha. What did he put? He said something about injuries, didn't he? So no one injured. Correct. That was good. Have you got a 3-word review?
Yeah, very simple. Job done. Next.
Job done. Next, indeed. I'm going to go with finishing would help. There we go. and that's yeah. I think if we taken our chances, it would have been better. And look, and we got Anthony. Oh God, how do we pronounce this? I'll just say Anthony. He was saying it wasn't a bad away performance, only our finishing let us down. I think, yeah, correct. That was the thing that let us down. We one of those goals in. So Zubameni hits the post, Trossard hit the post. If Saka takes his chance, even Declan Rice had a poor shot when he could have done better. We put another one of those away, and we would definitely win the game early. Let's see what else we got coming through here. No. Okay, that's that. I think my favourite one though is stop passing backwards. There was a lot of that. So anyway, job done. 3 points, top of the league. We move on, and we can get better. So right, Palace. We are playing Crystal Palace in the quarterfinals of the EFL Cup on Tuesday. And Palace, they lost 3-0 tonight, didn't they, against Leeds? Yeah, I wonder what sort of team they put out. I was just gonna see if because I heard some of the Eddie Nketiah was starting, so I don't know if that means Mateta's injured or they're always saving. 4-1 in the end. Okay, well, finished 4-1. Let me just have a look. I know Mateta did start. Oh, and Nketiah started as well. Okay, wow. Yeah. So look, before we get into thinking about the game, I know you asked me this before, and we will touch on it. How much do you care about the EFL Cup?
It's a hard one. Like, I do care about it. Of course I do. It's a cup. I'd love us to win it. I really would. But I just don't want it to be at the detriment of like our chances in the Premier League or the Champions League. It derailed the semi-finals last season. Derailed our season. I think it knocked the confidence out of the guys, like especially the away leg. Well, I suppose probably I'm going to reverse that and say the home leg was awful. But when you're going to these places and it doesn't go your way, it can have an effect. Now, you could argue that this season we were a different animal. It doesn't feel like it right now, but so far this season we've been a different animal. We're playing Chelsea, so we're not leaving London, so you can go for it a little bit. You're not traveling miles up north. So look, like, I know people are so divided about this. Like, I would love us to win it. I'd love us to beat Crystal Palace, but if we do get beaten by them, I'm not going to cry. I'm not going to cry about it because there's just much bigger fish to fry at the moment. There's just much bigger fish to fry. And although, just to finish on, although you cannot turn your nose up to a trophy, and we haven't won one since 2020, I get that, but still.
Yeah. Wait, by the way, I've just got a few notes here. We've obviously spent far too much time talking on podcasts together because you use even the same. I opened up with, we can't turn our nose up at a trophy. and
Great minds.
Yeah, great minds indeed. And that's fine. And I agree. Look, I would want us to win it. So I'd like us to win it, but not at all costs, not at the expense of our primary targets. And that's the question here. It's our approach to it. It's our approach to the game, how we turn up and who we turn up with. Because I never want Arsenal to lose. I'll be there on Tuesday, and when the game starts, I will want us to win. But like you said, if we were to lose, I think I'll get it over pretty quickly.
Yeah,
and. And also if we did get through and then we weren't going to win it, the thought of just losing to Chelsea in that semi-final. I mean, like the amount of stuff on social media from Chelsea fans after they beat us 1-1 at their place, is ridiculous. And losing to City or Newcastle in the final is sort of like you'd rather just get it over and done with Palace than having to do that, because you said you'd have a two-legged semi-final against Chelsea in January, February. We sort of touched on this. It's actually during a manageable period, so it's just in case. We have, I think, Portsmouth before and Forest after one of the semi-finals, and then we got Leeds before and Sunderland after. On the other semi-final, so it sort of feels manageable. And there's the argument that it keeps our squad players fresh. It gives them a chance, and they're ready for when they need. But so it'll be interesting to see how important we do take it.
And don't laugh when I say this, but we might get lucky in that during that period we have a fully fit squad. Like if we do, you can rotate, you can do it not at all costs. Like you can still put out a decent team, but the crux of all that is if we had a fully fit squad.
Yeah, exactly. So and would we regret it? Because then there's a final in March the 16th. We've got I think Brighton before the final. Everton at home would be the one that gets moved, and Wolves after. So all of a sudden, the Everton home game gets moved. You've got fit that in. Depending where we are in the FA Cup, we should get through against Portsmouth. So it piles up. But right. If we have our fit players, we have if we have it, then it may be an opportunity. So it's an interesting. So then this brings it to sort of then what sort of lineup would you want to see then against Crystal Palace? What would you be thinking?
Gunnersaurus, win the dog.
Yeah.
No, I think to be fair, we are getting players back, and we're only missing a small amount now. So you could have, off the top of my head, you could put Kepa in goal. You could play. Well, you obviously can't play Ben White. You probably may have to play Timber. You would play. I think Salim. To be honest, I think Saliba will play because Arteta will think he needs the minutes. Plus, we don't have Mosquera or Big Gabby, so I think Saliba will play. I think he'll play Hincapié. I think he'll play MLS. I wouldn't be surprised if you saw. I don't think he'll play Norgard. I don't think he.
Oh no, in defence, you put him in midfield.
In midfield, I don't think. Well, to be honest, he could play him in defence. He could.
Yeah.
The Saliba, but I don't think he'll play him in midfield. He doesn't seem to trust him. So you could have we haven't seen Eze over the last couple of league games. Did he play against Bull?
Yes, he did. Yeah, he started.
I'm thinking of Villa.
He did. Yeah, he started against Villa.
But we can rotate. I think he'll play. To be honest, I think he'll play Rice. I think he'll play.
Really?
Yeah, I actually do. Because Mikel Arteta doesn't do things by half. He's very, very competitive, and he might not play Saka. You might see a front line of Martinelli, Madueke, and Jesus, for example. But he takes his midfield fairly serious, and I wouldn't be surprised if you saw Declan Rice, and I wouldn't be surprised to see Zuberman either, but I don't know.
Yeah, well, see this is it. So I had to go like Kepa. Now this is the thing. So you've got Salmon, but he's only 16. Or you got Josh Nichols. He's played a few games for Arsenal in the League Cups and stuff like that. He's a right back, so you could play that. So I wouldn't want to play Simba, yeah, the lion. I wouldn't want to play Timber. Well, I would like to say Simba the lion. That would be interesting to see that. There ain't no Palace player going down our left wing if we got Simba at right back. Get eaten alive. So potentially Josh Nichols, and then do you play Salmon again in centre back? But again, he's only 16. So you've got Saliba, Hincapié, MLS will play. So I think, but that's where our pressure points are. So, because we lose Timber, we lose Saliba, we lose Hincapié. Yeah, any one of those, and it's sort of like we're in trouble. So I would play Josh Nichols, and I'd even play Salmon. We've got to turn out a team, but we've got to also think we're playing Brighton is the bigger game, Villa the bigger game, so. And then in midfield, I think Norgard, Waneri, Marina Wareza, and then Madueke, Gyökeres or Jesus, and Martinelli, and then the rest of the boys with their feet up or on the bench, or with their feet up on the bench.
I actually forgot. I'm ashamed to say I forgot about Waneri when I was talking about the midfield. Yeah, right. He will play. I can't see, and we'll find out soon enough, and I could be completely wrong, but I can't see him playing the likes of Josh Nichols or Marley Salmon. I just think it'd be too much. And look, at the end of the day, it's the quarter final of a cup. I just don't think he will. Look, but I could be proven.
Yeah, and look, so in terms of Palace, they said they got beat 4-1 tonight. They got through to the quarterfinal by beating Liverpool at Anfield in the previous round. I think Liverpool also had Mad sent off, but also that's when Liverpool were at the peak of their woes, or the bottom of their woes, whichever it is. So they played in a 2-2 draw on Thursday. I think they were 1-0. I think they drew 2-2. They were winning 1-0, then they were losing 2-1, then came back to, but they played a fully rotated 11. I sort of looked at 11 and thought, really had a rotated 11. So, and I was talking to a Palace fan last night, sort of just out with friends, and he says they're sort of a bit running on empty at the moment. They don't have the squad to deal with the sort of like the Europe and then the EFL Cup and the Premier League, and I think they've got a few injuries, and AFCON will hurt them. So like Ismail Assar is on international duty. Kamada's got a hamstring and he's out till February 26. Who else? Decore's out till Jan 26. Daniel Munoz is out till Jan 26. He's there. So sort of 3 or 4 really, really important players for them in the squad. So
and they played 3 games, and was it 5 days or something?
Yeah, exactly. So and I said in terms of who they played tonight, I mean like Guehi, Lacroix, Richards, Klein, Hughes, Wharton, Mitchell, Pino, Nketiah, Mateta. So I think that was as strong as they could really go. Maybe Jefferson Lerma, coming on, and they ended up getting beat 4-1. So get beat 4-1. 2-2. I can't remember what they did the week before. So it's how much they want to go for it and what their priorities are. So it's going to be a toughie, but they have the likes of Mateta can give us trouble, and Nketiah will most really play, Wharton, Pino. So but then they've got Spurs on the 28th. So it'll be interesting. So how do you see this one going? What would be your prediction for this game?
Well, the way I see it is you can't win the quadruple without winning the Carabao Cup. So we're going to go all guns blazing, and I think we're going to beat them 3-1.
3-1.
I'll give Eddie a goal. Go on.
Give Eddie a goal. So we beat them 1-0 early in the season, the Eze goal. We beat them at the same stage last season, 3-2, and that was when Jesus had his hat-trick. So maybe he's going to, come back at Christmas and score another hat trick for us. So, we've not lost home or away to Palace since April 22. So, look, it's our home. We should still be able to put out a good enough team. against them. I think they will rotate as well, and then it's this maybe down to the benches. So yeah, 3-1 is a good shout. I'm not too more like a 2-1 maybe. I'm going to go for I think a 2-1. So we'll just about get the through, and then we'll. God, the thought of a semi-final with Chelsea is just like the fear is just too much. Yeah, so there we go. We'll see what happens. Anyway, it's on Tuesday. I'm assuming you're not coming over for that, unfortunately.
No, I'll be over for the Brighton and Villa games, but not the
not the Palace one. Yeah, good. I think you're making the right decision there. I think there's more important things going on at this time of year than flying all the way over to watch our reserves play Crystal Palace in a game that you don't mind we lose. So there we go. Well, look, thank you for joining me tonight. Can you just let the listeners and watchers know what you do in terms of Ask Cannon Picks?
Yeah, you can find me on all the socials at Art Cannon Picks, where I get people to send me pictures of cannons from all over the world. I have them from like 60 odd countries, nearly all. I'm just missing one continent. I need somebody to go and build a cannon out of some snow in Antarctica, and I'll have my full set. And that's what I do.
I'll have to look at my photo. I've been to Antarctica, so I'll have to go and see if I've got any cannons in there. Maybe I'll Photoshop one in there.
Yeah, that'll do.
I would definitely look back, because I'm sure I would have taken a photograph or something like that. But there we go. Okay, let's see. Well, look, thanks for that. Look, thank you for joining me this evening. It wasn't the greatest of wins, but the win's a win, and we'll take it. And look, as far as we're concerned, you can follow us on all the social platforms at the Grove AFC. We're not going to be doing a main pod tomorrow because availability, Christmas time, and so on like that. But we will be back on oh my word, Christmas Eve, doing a pod reviewing our famous quarterfinal victory over Palace, and there we go. And look,
for that we just sing Christmas carols for an hour.
Exactly, yeah, exactly. We'll find all the jumpers, all the hats, and we'll be having a very nice Christmas celebration. And yeah, look, as I said, if you like what you're hearing and watching, then please subscribe, leave a comment, give us a nice little rating on the podcast apps. We appreciate it. Give us a follow. Thank you for everyone who sent in their 3-word reviews. Thank you for watching, and thank you for listening. And until the next time, come on, you Gunners.